My name's Ishan, and I'm from First Team 2706. Thank you, Ms. Pessanha, for participating in First Robotics Canada's Leaders in STEM and Skilled Trades interview series. To start us off, do you think you could tell us a bit about your background and journey in STEM?
So my first degree was as an educator. We have a university. I was graduated from the Federal University in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where I'm from. So when I was almost finishing my graduation, when you feel like something's missing. I don't know, there is a hole that I can't fill up. So yeah, on my last year, I felt something like this, and then I went to my father. Right, my father that is an engineer. He's a mechanical engineer since 1979. So I went to him and I said, "Dad, help me!" Oh. So he said, "What's going on?" So I said, "Okay, I'm almost graduating. Next year, I'm kind of a really real professional, but I don't know what to do. I don't want to follow this path." So he looked at me with that face, like that face, "I'm gonna kill you." Because you spent 4 years in university, but that's okay. He looked at me and said, "Oh, okay, but you know what? I like your profile. I think you're okay. You fit on engineering. So why don't you come with me and check? Because he used to work with consulting at that time. So he used to go to other like a lot of companies. And he said, "Okay, come with me. Let's try and see if you like. And if you like, maybe you finish this graduation. You graduate, and then you start doing engineering. What do you think?" And I said, "Yeah, you know what? I don't have anything to lose. Let's go." I finished my graduation, and yeah, I realized something was missing. And going to all of these companies with my father, like no commitment, just go and check, right? If you like or not. I saw like, okay, this is something I can play, right? This is good. I like projects. I like those drawings. Yeah, I like everything. So yeah, my inspiration towards everything in the engineering field, STEM, was my father, Albert. So yeah, I started working in and make part of considerable projects into structures, pipelines, cranes, boilers, pressure vessels, maintenance jobs, onshore and offshore. So in 2008, I enrolled in a mechanical engineering technician degree because, again, my father came and said, "Hey, so you're working, you have your money now, you have your car, you're achieving like material things, but you have to continue doing your, building your professional part. So go to a technical degree." So yeah, that's what I did. That's in 2014. I said, "You know what?" So I went to my manager at that time, and I went to my manager. Marcelo was his name. And I say, "Hey, Marcelo, I don't know. I want something bigger. I don't know. There's something here inside of me that is, pushing me like, okay, I need more. I need more." But it wasn't money. Was something more to myself, right? So he told me, "You know what? I know you're working a lot. I know you're embarking, but I think you should start a university." And yeah, I got enrolled in a production engineer bachelor. But in 2016, nothing's perfect. We had a big crisis in Brazil, right? The oil crisis. And all of my professional life was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was all my life into oil rigs, and now we're in crisis. Like I got fired, me and 400 people with me, and I was like, there's no job. I don't know what to do. And I was like kind of freaking out, literally freaking out.
Oh
So
no.
I started looking for jobs, but everybody was firing people, right? And again, my angel, my father, I went to him and said, "Hey, okay, so I'm fired. What am I going to do?" And I told him at that point, I had in mind, this company I was working for, they had a contract here in the United States, in America. And at that point, I told my manager, I want to be part of this project, like it's good, it's in English, I want to learn, I want to work abroad, I want to do something different because I'm on the top. I want to, some adventures, some, blood running my veins. So yeah. And then when I got fired, I said, hey, you know what? I visited Canada in January of 2016, and I got fired in March of 2016. So I told my father, you know what? What do you think if I go there and study a little bit so I can improve my English, I can, improve my resume, and then I come back and I work in Brazil. But I'm gonna have like an international degree. Okay. And my father said, yeah, that's it. Go there. So yeah, after 9 years, I saw myself like no job. Oh my God. And yeah, that's why I'm here. And I'm here in Canada.
Wow. You truly have like an incredible journey from where you started and where you are now, all the different transitions and struggles and where you eventually came here and how your father helped you through the journey. I truly believe like you've accomplished so much. It's truly incredible.
Yeah.
My name is Namirah, and I'm from First Team 7480. So something about First Robotics Canada and the Youth Council is that we're always striving to establish an equitable and inclusive environment, especially for young women within our FIRST community. So we hear that you've been involved in a number of very powerful and inspiring initiatives to bring and support women into STEM, and we'd really like to hear a bit more about it.
Yeah, thank you for this question. This is important.
For sure.
So I think my first action to support them, like support us, the women, is to be one of them, right? Actually, we are one of them that we're trying to get, not our place in the sun. Look, the sun, beautiful. So yeah, I think my first step was this, like I'm one of them. I'm the girl here. Woohoo. Yeah, but it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes to be part of the STEM and trades because even nowadays there is a considerable gap. The gender gap exists. It exists, not just here in Canada, but in Brazil or I think everywhere, right? Because sometimes I think the world tell us like, oh, you have to be competitive. You have to be, yes, you have to, but you have to be human being, right? And we need, I can't be here by myself. I need you, I need Kim, I need my family, I need my boyfriend. Like we are a community. And as a community, we have things in common and sometimes not in common, but we have to support each other. That's why it's exciting, right?
You we're stronger.
Different. Yeah, you are different. So let's put this together.
But another question I have is that through participating in FIRST programs, students are able to gain hands-on STEM experience that can be applied into robotics and engineering in the real world. So could you tell us a bit more about what a day in a life looks like for you, a welding inspection specialist and a mechanical engineer?
Yeah. So here in Canada, at Alps Welding, I don't work exactly as a welding inspector because they have their inspectors in there. When I first came to Alps, I was hired to work as code specialist that checks all the material, right? So what I do is we work with pressure vessels, right? And all of that material that I don't know if probably you saw like some kind of project. So we have the bill of material and all of those materials, I check those, right? So I check if that materials, if those materials are in accordance or they meet the code. In our case, the ASME code, right? So I am the person responsible for checking all the materials and all the coming delivering materials that they have. And after that, we release the material. If all of the material meet the code, we release them for the fabrication. So if they don't meet the code, we have some kind of internal processes to do with this. But actually here, of course, I use all my background, all my experience, and that's why I'm there, because in the interview, they had a lot of questions, a lot of very specific questions. So they could see, really, they could see in the end that even though I wasn't so specialized in material, I could deal with this, and I could be, I could do everything the way they wanted to, right? So yeah, my daily work in there is actually check the projects, check the bill of material, check if all the materials are meeting the code, and if they're not meeting, we have our internal processes with engineering, quality control. And if they're meeting, I put a kind of a green paint. It means, okay, go ahead. And then after that, when the production sees the green paint, like on the material, they take the material and they know that they can feed up, they can weld, they can do everything. And then other inspectors, will go to the process, because we are divided in specialties, right? So my specialty is material. So we have another one that is fit up, welding, and all of these steps, right?
That's so interesting, because in FRC as well, there's that's sort of similar to the checklist that most teams have before they get onto the field, where they check every component of the robot to see if it's working. Well, it's nice to see that this is actually applied into a real world situation. And although a first robot is, I guess I want to say a smaller project compared to what you're doing right now, there's still aspects that are carried on. So that's really interesting to hear.
As we move on, I'd like to ask you, so First Canada has done some incredible work to negate more females into STEM, and especially the Girls in STEM Executive Advisory Board. Could you speak to any adversity you have faced as a minority in this field, and any advice you may have for other young females who are looking to pursue a career in a male-dominated field?
Yes, excellent question, by the way. Okay, we have, since the males dominate the workforce in our field, right? In the beginning, I felt not belonged, not bonded to that group for so many times. Maybe because of the language, maybe because of the actions, the sexism, the harassment of all the types, right? Discrimination sometimes, even the sense that I must work harder to prove that I am capable, I'm professional, I can do this. Sometimes, depending on the environment, you have to work double, triple to show that you can, to show that you are professional. I have an example. At once, I've been in an oil rig, and I was the unique woman supervisor. The eunuch. Can you imagine? 20 people, in a meeting, just me as a girl. So, and there was a point that I don't know what the heck, but the guys were saying, I'm not going to do what she's telling me to do. Even my wife, I don't do what my wife tells me to do. And I was like, what? Wife? What? There is nothing connected. We are talking about job, not about your home, not about your life, right? And then at this point, I needed to the top supervisor of everything, like the guy, to come to him and say, hey, you're overreacting. She's here, she's a professional, and you are going to do what she's telling you to do. Because if you don't do, you will disembark, not her. So this guy was like the crucial point, to show that person that, okay, we are the same. We are at the same level. So you have to respect her at the same way she's respecting you. So this is the type of man, the type of people, because I'm not telling you that just the man has to do this. Women have to do this. We have to do this, everybody, If you feel someone needs support, you should go there and support. Nowadays, I hear women complaining about the same issues here in Canada in 2020. The same issues. I have to work harder to prove that I can. I have to, prove that I am professional. I have this, I have that. But I continue saying, we as a woman, we as a man, we as a community have to fight. We must fight against this and stand up for ourselves. If we don't do, nobody will.
Another question that we have is, do you have any plans for the future, perhaps concerning advancements in your career or maybe even your education?
Yeah. So one thing I've learned with the virus, like coronavirus, is just for today. We just have one day, right? Things are changing so fast that sometimes we can think like, just for today. Let's wait for tomorrow. But yes, I'm thinking about the future. Of course, we are always thinking about the future, and probably I'm thinking about to enroll in a master's degree soon.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's exciting. What field specifically?
I'm checking. This idea came up on my mind this week. So I'm checking exactly what kind of a master degree or if I go to an MBA. So yeah, but for sure I want to go forward. This is something that I really want to do. I'm a kind of person that I can't be, like just resting and waiting for the sun to reach my face. No, I want to go there and put my face on the sun. I'm like this. So yeah.
It's really wonderful to hear about that for sure, because I think that some of us, especially as youth, we think that when we end up in one job, then we stay in that job for the rest of our life or something. But that really isn't the reality of the situation. So really wonderful to hear that. Now, I do want to ask, do you have any questions for us?
Yes, just a point that I want to, because you told me, we think we are gonna start in work and be there forever. Like this is something that in Brazil, for example, we don't have this mentality at all because we know things can change. We know the goals in that company can change. And actually, we are a number, right, for the company. So if you're trying to do something better and trying to give solutions to that company, for any company, you're going to stay there. But if you don't do anything to give solutions, you're not going to be there. So yeah, keep this in mind and always focus on yourselves. And then I think you have a brilliant path, okay, in front of you. Yeah, and I have some questions. So my first question, so who wants to answer can answer, is how do you motivate yourself to get work done after trying many things and failing over and over again?
So maybe what we can do is we can have one person answer each of your questions, and it can just be a short answer, I guess, for now, just because of time. I think I could answer this one if that's okay with Mehak and Ishan. I think that sometimes it is a bit difficult to be motivated, especially in situations like this, where we're kind of taken out of our usual schedules and we still want to try to be active and try to participate in our extracurriculars and our school. But I think a lot of my motivation definitely comes from the people around me. So in terms of allies, in terms of people who inspire us, I'm definitely going to be adding you to the people I'm constantly inspired about and just drive me to do better and to work harder. So I think that's definitely what I would say for that answer. It's always the people around me who inspire me and motivate me to do more and do better.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So Ishan, you answer the second, okay?
Mhm.
If for a moment you start to feel overwhelmed by the complexities of robotic projects, how do you simplify to get where you want to be?
Well, for me, in my first robotics team, since we have so many members, like 50 plus members, and also a lot of mentors, we're broken down into several sub-teams, and I can always rely on my teammates to help. So if there is something very complex, normally what we can do is take a step back and sort of discuss the problem from different perspectives. That way everyone gets a chance to sort of say their ideas, and it almost simplifies the problem, because when you're with so many different people, there's a lot of creativity flowing in the room.
Yeah, this is exactly what I've said before about being mixed teams, right? So with this, we can achieve better solutions. So Mehak, you're the next one. What's the habit requiring the least effort that makes the greatest difference when you're working on a first task?
I think what I want to say for this is gracious professionalism. It's something that's incorporated in all of our first tasks, even whether it's in the robot or something non-technical as events, and even in like the first community in general. And it sort of allows for everyone to get a chance to speak, get a chance to incorporate their ideas. I know you touched on this earlier about saying how just having like a diverse set of teams, both males and females, so it's mixed and with like diversity, so everyone's ideas are incorporated. And this is exactly what FIRST is that you're allowed to speak your mind whenever you want. Even though we're all competing with one another and there is this competition, everyone is so willing and open to help each other out, whether it be on the field with their robot, assisting them with like supplies or any mentors or assistants in general. I think that's what everyone in like the first community has, and that's like the exact reason why I think it's a family rather than I want to say like a competition.
Yeah, it's very impressive actually what you told, because I think this is the goal, to get everybody involved, to get everybody really working as a team, because unfortunately in the past it was like, okay, I do my job is done, now it's your time, now it's your turn. And this is not okay, because when you see through a lean perspective, like more deeply into how to make things work, you need the team, right? So you need all of those Six Sigma and all those things that we are learning through all this professional process. All of them are going to say, hey, you need your team. You need to integrate somehow all the departments, and this way you have you achieve the goals, right? The company's goals. So thank you for this, and I think this is the way we have to get things done. So guys, I really want to thank you for all of this. You guys are amazing. Kim, for this opportunity. I'm so happy. I'm so excited with you all. I think you all have a great future, in front of you. And if you need any help, I'm here to help. And I'm pretty sure Kim is there for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Mrs. Pessanha, for sharing with us the impacts of STEM on your life. As a strong and passionate woman in engineering, we were so inspired by your story, and we're very, very grateful that you had the opportunity to speak to us. And hopefully we'll be able to connect again soon. So thank you so much.